Welcome in, friends. Let's talk about why age is just an excuse. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Charlie's Life, Aging Gracefully with Charlie. And today I want to talk about something that may feel uncomfortable at first, but if you stay with me, it just might change the way you see yourself. The title of today's message is Why Age is an Excuse. Now, let me be very clear right from the start. I'm not saying aging is easy. I'm not saying that our bodies don't change. Of course they do. And I'm not saying that life hasn't handed us some very real challenges. But what I am saying is this. Age, for whatever reason, has quietly become the most socially accepted excuse we use to stop ourselves. And most of the time, we're not even aware that this is happening. So let's talk about how age became the default excuse. Somewhere along the way, society handed us a script. And it kind of goes like this. You're too old to start over. You should have done that earlier. At your age, you should just be grateful. That's a young person's game. I mean, how many of these have you heard or that you actually espouse to, right? And over time, we didn't just hear those messages. We absorbed them, we incorporated them into our daily thinking. We started repeating to ourselves, I'm too old to learn something new. I missed my chance. What's the point now? I should just sit this one out. And slowly, but very powerfully, age stopped being a number and started being a limitation. But here's the truth most people never say out loud. Age doesn't stop dreams. Beliefs do. What age really is and what it isn't. Age is information. Age is experience. Age is perspective. But what age is not, it's not a measure of your relevance. It's not a deadline on your purpose. It's not a limit on your curiosity. It's not a reason to stop growing. The problem isn't age. The problem is what we've been told age means. Because when we say, I'm too old, what we're often really saying is, I'm afraid of failing. I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to start at the bottom. I don't want to be judged. And those fears are human. They're real, but they are not an age problem. They're a belief problem. How using age holds you back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk honestly for a moment. When you blame age, it gives you relief, does it not? But it also steals your power. Because if age is the reason you can't start a YouTube channel or learn new technology or improve your finances, build a new routine, meet new people, change direction, then you're no longer in control. Age becomes your boss. And here's the dangerous part. An excuse feels safe, but it keeps you stuck. It lets you stay comfortable. It protects you from disappointment. But it also quietly locks the door on possibility. And that's one of the most frightening things ever to me. So let's talk about the lie of it's too late. Let me say this slowly because it really does matter. It is not too late. Let me say that again. It is not too late. It's only unfamiliar. New things always feel awkward at first. Growth always comes with discomfort. Learning always humbles us. But that doesn't mean it's wrong for you. In fact, one of the most beautiful things about this stage of life is this. You finally get to choose without needing approval. And I've said that in other videos. You're not trying to impress. You're not trying to fit in. You're not trying to prove anything. You're choosing because you want to. Let me say that again. You're choosing because you want to. And my friends, what that is freedom. What you gain as you age. Here's what no one talks about enough. As you age, you gain discernment, hopefully, patience, a lot of it, emotional intelligence, wisdom, resilience. You know what matters. You've survived things you once thought would break you. You've learned that perfection isn't required, but progress is. And those qualities, they make you more capable, not less. You're not behind. You're not irrelevant. You're seasoned. So let's talk about the quiet power of starting anyway. Starting later doesn't mean starting weaker. It means you ask better questions because you have a lot more wisdom, right? You waste less time. You're clearer about your values. You don't quit over small setbacks. You're not racing anymore. You're building intentionally. And that kind of growth lasts. What if age isn't the problem? Let me ask you something gently. What if age isn't what's holding you back? What if it's fear of judgment, fear of learning curves, fear of starting small, fear of being seen trying? Because here's the truth. Trying doesn't make you weak. It makes you alive. And choosing growth at this stage of life, that's not desperation. That's courage. Huge courage. A new way to talk to yourself. We need to figure out what's that new way to talk to ourselves and stop believing what has been instilled in our minds relative to age. Instead of saying, I'm too old, try saying, I'm still learning. I'm allowed to grow. I'm capable of more than I was told. I don't need permission. Your words matter. They shape what you believe is possible. So this season is not an ending. This season of life is not about shrinking. It's about refining, choosing intentionally, doing things because they matter to you. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to stop letting age silence your curiosity. So here's my final encouragement to you. If you take nothing else from today, Remember this: age is not an excuse, it's a chapter. It still has room for growth, joy, learning, laughter, and purpose. You're not done. You're not late. You're still becoming. And I'm so glad you're here with me. If this message spoke to you in any way, make a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Tell me what the word and the concept of age means to you. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story, share it with them. And until next time, keep aging gracefully and be blessed.